So how often do you get sick? And how often do you wonder, where are these parasites? Like, how did I actually get them? How diverse are they? I wonder a lot about that for a long time, and during my PhD I had the chance to look at that, and look at the diversity of a specific group of fungi that are parasitic. They are called microsporidia, and they are thought to be just everywhere. But when you look at the literature, there is really no data about where they are. So I decided to look into that and look at the diversity of these microsporidian parasites here in Vancouver. They infect animals, including humans, and we don't really understand how they interact with the host. We don't really know what they're doing inside our bodies. So there is about 30 or 40% of people that have got a microsporidian infection, and they don't really know about it, because these parasites are somewhat silent. So I decided to go around to different places, and I screened for this microsporidia using DNA techniques, specifically PCR. And I was able to detect 22 new species. And there was one particular site at Boundary Bay, this is near Tualatin, which is shown on this picture. This is a beach. And I love that site because, in the summer I can just go and sample. And this particular microsporidia was always there. So I started to screen for it. And I was able to pin it down to one single organism. This was a roundworm. Roundworms are highly abundant. They are just everywhere. And we don't really know much about them. So for me, it was just a cornerstone. I can finally detect that this parasite is. But when I looked at the worm under the microscope, I couldn't see it. Like, what is it sick? Like, what is it doing inside? I was wondering about that. And I decided to look into details, and I decided to use a fluorescent technique in which I could tag this parasite inside the worm and see what it is. I also performed a transmission electron microscopy in order to check, to study the structure of this parasite. I was able to do that, and that's shown on the picture there below, which says microsporidia, and you can see these spore-shaped organisms. What was most interesting about this was that the parasite, when I used this fluorescent tag, was infecting the eggs of the worm. That means that this parasite is transmitted from the mother to the eggs, and the ones are born with this parasite. At the moment, I am actually tracking how the parasite and the host interact, while the host doesn't seem to be sick, which is very strange. So my dream came true. I discovered a new species. I always dreamed of doing this. And I named it Esporanauta perivernus, for marine spore of roundworm.